Hola, geek fans. It's that time again. It's 4:30. It's Friday. It's Geeks at the Movies. We're shooting from the luxurious Charter Studios in Eastern Connecticut. My name is Shay Gurich. I'll be your host today. And sitting next to me is our lead writer, Mr. Jacob Desitels.
What's up, guys?
Right now, we are going to start with the geek news. We always start this way, and we're going to give it to you from our perspective, the geek perspective. Item number one. Along with all the trailers released at Comic-Con, the second official trailer for the upcoming Fantastic Four reboot was also shown and released online. We wanted to talk about this last week, but there were just so many trailers we couldn't get to this. The film is scheduled to hit theaters August 7th, 2015, so it's coming out pretty soon. Tell me, Jacob, what did you think of this?
I thought it was a pretty good trailer. I didn't like it as much as the last one. I thought the last one was awesome. It showed exactly the type of tone the movie was going to have. It showed us a little bit of story. This one went a little bit deeper into that. It showed us more of their powers, which I liked. And there was a lot more green in it. For some reason, they added green lava instead of like red lava when they were on that other planet. And then like Dr. Doom has some green like cracks in his face or something like that. But I thought it was a good trailer. Wasn't perfect, but I'm still excited for the movie.
I am surprised that you say you liked the first trailer more.
Yeah, actually. Yeah.
I wasn't thrilled with the first trailer. And now, before I dive into my opinions in the second trailer, can you just give me one more explanation about that? Why did you like the first one more than the second? Because the second one showed more.
Well, I'm not talking about the first teaser trailer. I'm talking about the first full trailer. Is that what you're talking about?
Perhaps I'm not thinking about the right one.
Okay, because this one copied a lot. It was a lot of the same scenes from the first full trailer. That's why I didn't like it as much. But it showed more of their powers and everything, which we didn't see like almost any of in the first two trailers. But this one, it showed a lot more of that. Showed a little bit more story. It showed more of the role that their father is going to have in it. So I liked that much. But the first trailer, it had me more excited about the film. This one didn't really add to that excitement that much.
I am not excited about this film. Now, I didn't like the original Fantastic Four movies. The second one with Silver Surfer was all right. I like Silver Surfer, but we're not going to get back into the cloud conversation. This one, everything just feels off. The fact that they took so long to release the trailers in the first place.
Yeah.
I still don't like how young they've made some of the Fantastic Four members, because it used to be kind of a family dynamic, and now, what's the stretching guy's name?
Yeah, Mr. Fantastic.
Mr. Fantastic. He seems a little young for me to play that father dynamic, the head of the family role. Another thing I'm really worried about, Dr. Doom. Why have we seen so little of Dr. Doom? We see nothing. If he's the main villain, why don't we see him more? This makes me think, uh-oh, they made a big mistake with Dr. Doom. They screwed up, and it's too late to go back. What are your thoughts about Dr. Doom? You've heard some online rumors. He's a hacker. He's this. He's that. What is he?
Okay, well, let's start with that hacker thing. Apparently, according to the actor that plays as him, they scrapped that idea. They totally, like, they might have filmed some stuff with him as a hacker and stuff, but they totally got rid of that because they heard the online complaints. So, and apparently it's going back to his more comic book origins, where he's a ruler of Latveria. He's like this. He's basically kind of like a king, basically.
Okay.
But it's more of like it's not really a democracy, but it's not really like it's a third world country.
Okay.
Really, really tiny, but he's the ruler of it. In the comics, I don't know if they're going to go that far with it, but he's probably still going to be like royalty. So we're going to see more of that. So that's why I'm excited about Dr. Doom. In the comics, he doesn't have powers at all.
I just learned about this. See, yeah. I just assumed, he has powers, but it's actually he's I guess a scientific genius.
Yeah.
And he makes technology to stop his foes. So can you explain that a little more?
Well, I think one of the things that when they were looking at the older Fantastic Four movies, one of the things that they liked was that he had powers and that he could go up against the Fantastic Four by himself. And I think that's why they kept that aspect of him for this movie, and I actually like that. I think it's cool. It's just a different iteration of him, and they made it so that he has some weird, like his mask like morphed to his face or something like that. It adds a little bit more dimension to him, because if he's just a scientific guy that makes robots and stuff, it's not really that interesting.
I I agree with you wholeheartedly. You hear how I always bitch about people with no powers against superpowered people.
Yeah.
So I love the fact that they're adding powers to him. I'm just so worried about the fact that they showed so little of him. And I was reading Wikipedia, and they were telling me about Dr. Doom that he has this interesting moral code that he adheres to, that sometimes that he won't even hurt a foe that's already been like knocked down. He's like, oh, nope, this is the wrong time. It's not an even matchup.
Yeah.
He was kind of a scumbag, jerk in the first movie. I don't really feel like he adhered to that.
Yeah.
Are you hoping that they have that kind of morally principled? Maybe we don't agree with his morals, but he has principles. You hope they adhere to that in this movie.
I think they will do something like that, but I think he's also going to be mad because it's kind of I think it's going to be their fault that this happened to him, because he also isn't deranged and all that stuff. He did in the comics, he wasn't on that spaceship with the Fantastic Four.
Okay.
But in this and the other movies, he's going to be on the ship, and then he's gonna be with them and he's gonna get like a mutation, and he's one with them in that sense, but he's gonna blame them for it happening.
Okay. Do you want a cameo with like an X-Men member? Do you want them to start setting up a shared universe? Because Fox wants to do this.
I know. I just want little hints. I don't want a cameo or anything like that. I just want this movie to stand on its own at first, with little maybe newspaper clippings in the background of talking about mutants, that kind of stuff. But I don't want it. I don't want it to be connected right at first.
What about a post-credit scene? There's been talk right now there's not going to be a post-credit scene. I'm skeptical. What do you think?
I'm going to stick around with the credits just in case, unless I hear something from the director or the studio saying that there isn't a post-credit scene. But I'd be okay with that as long as it's not Hugh Jackman walking out saying, I need to talk to you. I'm with the X-Men. I don't want that.
Hey, bub.
Shink.
Yeah, oh, man, I can see them doing that and being really bad.
Yeah, but I don't want any of that. But yeah, I'm excited because I think they have faith in this because they already set the date for Fantastic Four 2 in 2017.
Wow, I'm surprised about that.
Yeah.
Okay. And
I want them to go that route that they set up in the teaser trailer, which is it's going to be like a monster film because they're these mutated freaks.
I mean, Thing for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, he's this rock beast.
Yeah,
he's a rock golem. Yeah, it's crazy.
And the writer and director said that they got a lot of their inspiration from Cronenberg's films, like The Fly.
Oh, okay.
Those really old monster films.
Right.
So that's what.
So it's gonna have that weird horror, creepy element.
Yeah. And I hope they.
I've only seen that in the trailer, so I'm a little skeptical about that.
Well, when in the first teaser trailer, when the thing breaks out of that rock cocoon thing.
You're right. That is kind of cool. Okay. Yeah. All right. So we're gonna go see this, folks, and we're gonna give you a review. We love the comic book movies. We're gonna tell you what we think about it. But let's move on from the Fantastic Four to Fox's other property, the X-Men. The first official pictures of a number of characters have been released for the X-Men, including Apocalypse, Psylocke, and Magneto. Tell me what you think about these pictures, Jake.
Okay, first of all, my favorite design is Storm. I love her mohawk, because that's right out of the comics, because this takes place in the 80s, and that's when she first got her mohawk and everything like that. I like the look of the new Magneto costume. It's a little bit more upgraded. It looks cool. Young Cyclops, young Jean Grey, they all look great. Jubilee looks a little ridiculous, but it works because it's in the 80s.
Yeah, it works. The style is consistent with the 80s. Is she wearing a members only jacket?
I'm not sure. I didn't look at that.
I thought one of the characters was. That was a big thing in the 80s. I mean, I was really young in the 80s, but I vaguely remember towards the end, members only jacket was kind of thing, but then it started going out of style. I can vaguely remember that.
Well, the yellow jacket she has is part of her costume that
right.
that she's had all the time, but.
But I think they're going to try to incorporate the 80s flavor into it, so it's not just we're wearing spandex, we're wearing this silly stuff. No, it makes sense why we're wearing this, but it just happens to match the comic book look, which I love.
And I really like the Nightcrawler photo too.
Oh, I love Nightcrawler.
Because he looks exactly like the older Nightcrawler does. He has the same. It looks good, but the one thing that a lot of people have had a problem with is Apocalypse. No one really seems to like the look of Apocalypse. He looks people are saying that he looks like Ivan Ooze from the Power Rangers stuff.
I saw some GIF or something online, and I'm like, oh my god, he does kind of look like that.
But well, I think he looks.
I have a bigger issue than that. I don't really think that personally, but I have another issue.
Yeah.
I'll bring it up in a moment. We'll continue.
Okay. Well, I think he looks like is Ronan from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes.
He has that same thing on his head, but
Yeah, it's a sort of like samurai-ish look.
and I'm all for being like, don't go with the comic book how they look in the comics because that doesn't work in this. But
Right.
I kind of wish they made him like bigger because in
Bingo! There's my issue. Why is he so short? Why is he
Yeah.
shorter than me?
yeah
Why is he that? No, he should be at least 7 feet tall.
because in the comics he's like Thanos. He's like that build that big, and like I'm okay with them not like making the face look the same and because he has those weird lips.
Yeah,
but
the weird lips.
yeah, but like I just wish that he was tall and intimidating.
He's short. He's like average. How tall is he? 5'8", 5'7"?
He looks a little bit taller than Magneto, and that's it.
I remember from the like early '90s X-Men cartoon. I mean, he was like 3 stories tall. It's like, I am Apocalypse.
Yeah.
I am the bringer of doom.
Yeah.
I am the evolution. Right? And I'm like, and as a little kid, I'm like, oh, cool. He's so huge. It's awesome. I didn't expect him to do that. At least normally. Like I know he can change size. I'm assuming he's not going to stay that size.
Yeah.
But for his normal interacting with human size, he should not be 5'7" or whatever the hell he is.
Yeah.
He should be probably like around 7 feet tall. That's what I was imagining. Like a big, tall, like, whoa, this guy's scary looking. I'm already scared. Maybe I'm not scared.
Yeah, maybe it's gonna be some kind of like reveal in the movie when he changes size, and that's why they didn't want to reveal that. But I don't know. I just want him to be more intimidating and stuff. I actually like. I don't mind the look. It looks okay. It looks more Egyptian because that's where he's from. So I'm okay with that.
Yeah, the look doesn't bother me. It's specifically his height. It's really bizarre.
Yeah.
It doesn't fit the character.
Yeah, but he's being played by a really good actor, Oscar Isaac, who's going to be in the new Star Wars movie. I'm excited for that, and Bryan Singer hasn't disappointed with the X-Men film yet.
Excellent.
So he made the 3 best X-Men movies in my opinion: 1, 2, and Days of Future Past.
Yes,
So
I concur with you completely, Jacob. And we're definitely going to watch this when we come out and give you guys a review. Tell me what you thought about, because here's a character I had a problem with, Psylocke's look.
Yeah, I know some people do have a problem with that, but it doesn't really bother me that much. Maybe it'll make sense in the context of the movie, just like Apocalypse.
It will make sense. Like, look at the costume. Let's put that picture back up on the screen. Look at this costume. It's that standard, like, oh, she's the hot female. You're not bothered by it. You don't just think this is just they're playing to her looks.
No, I don't. It's right out of the comic books, which is well.
It is out of the comic book.
I think is a lot of people's problems with it because they want to change it, and then other people are like, oh, don't change anything. But
that's the problem. It's right out of the comic books, but most of the other characters of the X-Men, it's not right out of the comic books.
I know.
It's an altered design to make it more realistic. Her design, it doesn't feel like... I can see them doing something like that, with like maybe fishnet stockings, or something that's like with like late 70s, early 80s fashion, where they could have emulated that design, but they just tore it right out of the comic books. It's like, vamp, here you go. Maybe it'll have something to do with Apocalypse.
Yeah.
I mean, she's working with him, right?
Yeah, that's what it looks like from the pictures in the trailer.
So I always have a problem when they just mindlessly put women in these skimpy outfits for no particular reason except like, yeah, let's have her in a tight outfit but whatever. Overall, I like the pictures. Please, just maybe a post-production, just make him a little bigger.
Yeah.
But maybe that's just when he starts out. Maybe we first see him. He comes to the screen. Hey, what's guys? Hi, I'm Apocalypse. I am Apocalypse, and then he grows and he's huge and he's being ridiculous and it's awesome. Because that's what I really want to see.
Yeah, me too.
All right then. Item number 3 on our list: the DC characters Mr. Terrific and Anarchy will appear in season 4 of Arrow, and have been cast. Mr. Terrific will be played by Echo Kellum, and Anarchy will be played by Alexander Calvert. Okay, Jacob, please fill me in. What just happened? What did I just read?
Okay, well, first of all, I have no idea who these actors are. They're pretty much no-name actors. Haven't been in that much stuff. Anarchy was first appeared in a Batman comic. He was like a guy that was a little kid actually behind the comic, behind the costume, and then in later iterations they made him more of a teenager.
Okay, so he was a little kid to start, then he's a teenager. All right.
Yeah. But no one really knows what he actually looks like. But so it's like kind of a reveal when he's revealed as like a younger person.
What does he do? What is Anarchy? I don't know.
He just like causes chaos basically. Like he goes against the government, that kind of thing.
Oh man, that's really on the nose right there.
I know. And like
this is comic books, all right.
It's spelled with a K, Anarchy.
Awesome.
And then Mr. Terrific. He's like with the Justice League. I'm not really sure what his powers are. I'm not really that familiar with him.
So he's a good guy.
Yeah, he's a hero.
Okay.
Anarchy's a villain. I think Mr. Terrific will. I'm not sure if they'll go with his powers. Maybe he'll be like Felicity. He'll be like a hacker kind of guy. I don't know.
Okay. The anti-Felicity. Maybe they'll actually manage to draw Felicity back into why we liked her in the first place, because we don't really like her too much anymore. So maybe that he can play that role, possibly.
Yeah. And then then Anarchy will be the villain. Obviously, I don't think he'll be the main villain of the.
Will he be
season.
a villain of the week?
Probably, but he might be like a reoccurring villain throughout.
Reoccurring villain of the week.
Yeah.
We're gonna use him 5 times
Like-
because we have no other ideas.
Like
Sorry.
like the guy from the guy with the.
The cold guy.
Yeah.
Captain Cold. Is that his name?
Yeah, but he's more of like a main villain because he appeared many times.
That's
the
true.
Flash.
Okay, you're right. Yeah, he's more than a villain.
But then there was the guy with the drug from Vertigo.
Oh, the Vertigo dude.
Yeah. I think he'll be like
I didn't
him.
care for that guy.
Yeah, I actually liked the first guy, but the second guy they never brought him back. But after that, yeah, This doesn't really make me that excited at all for season 4 of Arrow.
Right. This is doing nothing for me. I don't care.
Yeah, I just think it's cool that we're going to get to see these characters on screen.
Here's the thing, right? You say it's cool to get to see these characters, but when you release information about a show, that information should make you go, "Oh, that's cool. I want to see that." This is information that made me go, "That's what it did. That's what happened. That's what happened." When I read this, I went, That's not good. We don't want that.
Yeah,
because Arrow season 3 went flat.
Yeah, this doesn't tell us anything about the story for season 4, and I want to know what they're gonna do to redeem themselves. But I don't really think they even know that they need to redeem themselves. I don't think they're aware at all.
Well, how could they not be aware? Every comment section I go to, it's negative. I mean, the Felicity hating is like reached a fever pitch. I mean, I don't like the direction they took her. I don't really like her very much anymore, but I mean, she's really hated on now. I mean, they want her to be killed off. That's how I hear that all the time.
And that sucks because she was one of my favorite characters in the show.
I really liked her, and a lot of the characters I don't find too likable in her. I never really did, and she was one of the ones I found likable. Her and Diggle, I talked about this before. They started making him kind of. They started making him more like Arrow, more like Green Arrow himself.
Yeah.
Where he would give this advice, he would say, "Oh, do this," and then he'd make the same mistakes himself, and then that conversation would happen again, and then they kept hitting the same beats. Like we talked about this before. Season 3 was very repetitious. We saw the same kind of stuff happening before. We saw the same kind of build up to a climax. The same, the city's in danger at the end. Here's the bad guy to take this guy out. Except they just did it worse.
Yeah.
Everything was done less interestingly. And the final showdown between Ra's al Ghul and Arrow was just.
Yeah, it wasn't that interesting at all.
Yeah. So you really liked the show. I mean, you used to tell me about how you enjoyed it. It was your favorite comic book show. What are your thoughts now? Because you seem a little concerned here, like you're telling me they don't even know.
Well, the reason I think they don't even know is because we haven't heard any news about them changing anything except for the costume, really. And so
I don't like that costume, by the way, but
I think the only reason they changed it is because he's going to come. Spoilers, he's for season 3, but he's going to come back for being Arrow, because he retired at the end. Which was the stupidest decision. Didn't make any sense at all.
Right, it made no sense. We all knew that wasn't going to be the case, so why did they do that? Why did he drive off in the sunset with Felicity?
Yeah.
They can show the same shot, but in reverse, him driving right back in. Oh, here he comes again.
Yeah, I know. But Hopefully, it'll be like they'll hit like the restart button, do something to totally wash all that crap away.
Right.
And then they'll get back to what Arrow was like.
Hopefully the Flash will come in and do time travel and everything will disappear, all the bad stuff, and won't make any sense, but won't matter because we'll just forget about season 3.
Come on, guys. You have Flash. You have that time travel thing.
It's the automatic reset button.
Yeah.
Oh, we screwed up.
Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding. Flash reset. Okay, let's stop hating on Arrow because we can just do this all day. Item number 4. The DC character Atom Smasher will appear in Season 2 of The Flash and will be played by former WWE wrestler Adam Edge Copeland. The news came out after a picture of the wrestler in costume was leaked online. Okay, I actually watched WWE back when he first joined, started being on there. He was with some other guy in a tag team. So this kind of has me interesting because, he's a pretty guy. He's a good build for it. Tell me about the character Atom Smasher.
I don't know. I don't know anything really about the Atom Smasher.
So much due diligence we've done today, folks.
Yeah.
We do this for you.
I'm pretty sure that he'll be, at least in this show, a villain, not for just the Flash, but for Atom. They'll probably have Atom come in, and then, what's his name? The guy that's on their team in the
Red Arrow?
The Star Labs, the guy.
Oh, the engineer dude.
Yeah.
Which I can't remember his name.
He's Vibe in the comics, but I think he's always coming up with the villain names.
Yeah.
He'll be like, hey, he's Atom Smasher.
Cisco,
Yeah.
the Joe I. Thank you. We have no idea what we're doing today, folks. It's Cisco.
Yeah. So this will be like, he'll see him knock the Atom to the ground, and be like, oh, he's the Atom Smasher. Something like that.
I can see that happening. I think here, in this case, it's not so much about the character, the Atom Smasher, it's the guy they have playing him.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing a lot of the audience will like the fact that this guy from WWE is coming in.
Yeah.
Kind of like he's not The Rock, but they'll be interested in him as the character coming in. Whereas in the previous items we had, Mr. Terrific and Anarchy, it's 2 characters we don't really know about and 2 actors we don't really know anything about. That's a flat reveal. This is a much better reveal. Tell me, what are your expectations for season 2 of Flash? I'm guessing they're more positive than season 4 of Arrow.
Yes.
Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. Talk to me.
Yeah, I'm really excited for season 2 of Flash. Just the way they left off at the last season. I didn't want to stop there, but they needed to end on a cliffhanger. So
Of course.
yeah.
Why would we watch otherwise?
And I think they're gonna keep going with that thing, which is actually one of my complaints of Flash is the villain of the week thing that they do. They do even more than Arrow.
Yeah, they really do have the villain of the week thing.
Yeah, I think he'll be a villain of the week.
They kind of toned that down in the second half of the season.
Yeah, they
because
did.
In the first half of the season, I didn't get hooked right away by the Flash. I was like, yeah, this is all right. I'll watch. It's cool. The second half of the season, they kind of went to this continuously running storyline. That was great. So so maybe in the first few episodes, they're gonna put little hints about the overall arc for the season.
Yeah.
And they're gonna have some of these villains of the week just to fill up space because how much do they have? 22 episodes of these?
Yeah.
I kind of have a problem with the 22 episodes for these shows. I prefer the AMC HBO. Less episodes. The episodes are a little longer sometimes, a little more meat to them. But oh well, it is what it is. So anything else you wanted to say about the Flash?
I'm really excited for season 2, like I already said. I think he'll actually be a interesting character because of the guys playing him. He's gonna have a little bit of personality to him.
Yep.
And that picture we saw, he looks okay. He just has some armor on. So it doesn't really look that interesting, but
Medium.
yeah.
But we gotta see it in action,
Yeah.
right? A lot of the comic book still shots don't look too good for even the good movies. They're
Yeah.
oh, this is bad, but then you see it, it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. Item number 5 on our list. According to reports from The Hollywood Reporter, John Francis Daley and Jonathan M. Goldstein, the writers of Horrible Bosses and the upcoming Vacation sequel, will be the writers of the upcoming Spider-Man reboot. Okay, Jacob, please give me some background.
These guys wrote Horrible Bosses, which I liked. I didn't think it was a great movie, but it was a fun comedy. But yeah, all their stuff is comedy. So, but maybe this will be a thing like the guys that wrote Captain America and directed Captain America Winter Soldier. It'll be because they directed Community, that the TV show Community, which is a comedy.
Right.
And then they gave us one of the most serious Marvel movies ever.
Wait, so the Russo brothers had before just been associated with comedy? Is that
Yeah, they were only on that show Community, and now they're down.
Really?
Yeah. Now,
I had no. I'm stunned.
Yeah, now they're the Russo brothers, and they given us Captain Winter Soldier. They're giving us Civil War. They're giving us the Infinity War movies.
Okay, my mind's just been blown because I'm not that big. I'm not a fan of Community. I saw it maybe once or twice, but Captain America. The Winter Soldier is amazing.
Yeah.
It's my favorite MCU film. I love the darker tone because I'm always more into the serious tone movies. I like the Nolan Batman films and the more serious X-Men films and the Man of Steel. Okay, this is interesting. But with Spider-Man, the character Spider-Man, he's a wisecracker.
Yes.
We're going to talk about the original Spider-Man movie that came out in 2002 later in the show. What are your expectations of this movie? What are your expectations of the Spider-Man reboot? This is rebooting again here. What's going to happen? Is this going to work?
I hope so. I think I have more hope than I did originally. I think that Marvel is hopefully going to have a large influence on it because it's going to be in their universe, and they're not going to let Sony mess it up for them. So.
I see. You say that, and I think you're right. In their movies they make officially, I think Spider-Man might be good. But in Sony's films, it might be kind of like those. I mean, there's a couple MCU films that kind of fell flat, like Iron Man 2, people that weren't too big fans of.
Yeah.
It might be kind of on that level is what I'm thinking. But I really don't know. So I don't want to pass judgment yet on Spider-Man. I like the character. I think it'd be interesting. How long will it be before even the Spider-Man movie comes out? Is it going to be a few years?
It's not coming out until 2017.
Oh, okay,
right?
So we'll wait before we pass any kind of preliminary judgment till we hear more about it.
Yeah, but this is the first thing that we can really give an opinion on because we don't know anything about the actor.
Oh.
Don't know anything about the director because his movie Cop Car hasn't come out yet. But I actually want to see that because it has Kevin Bacon in it. So he's working with talent at least. So he knows. He's going to give some good direction, I think. But, yeah, so it's definitely going to have comedic elements like Ant-Man did. But it's not. I don't think it's going to be like a full-fledged comedy. It's going to have comedic elements with that action that all the Marvel movies already have in them.
Are Ant-Man and Spider-Man going to have a scene together in Civil War?
I really hope so, because that would be really cool. And maybe it'll just be Ant-Man like standing on his shoulder. And
that would be wonderful. I'd love it.
Yeah.
They have to. It's Ant-Man and Spider-Man. Come on, it's so silly and ridiculous. They got to throw them together.
Yeah, I have my hopes up for this movie, but it's gonna be a while until we even see anything from him. But hopefully, Civil War, we'll get to see a good amount of him. So. Yeah, we're going to wait and see.
We'll wait and see. All right, next. We are on item number 6 now. Earlier this year, the Hobbit actor Martin Freeman was added to the cast of Captain America Civil War. Many people have been speculating who he will be playing, and the actor had this to say about his character. He works for the American government. He works in conjunction with superheroes and certain agencies that help tame the superheroes' power. So you're not quite sure which side he's on. He looks a little bit like he's playing one game when he's actually playing another. He's the kind of character I like because it's ambiguous and because you don't know whether he's good or bad. I like the idea that he isn't black or white. I like the grays because I think that's just a lot more fun than not playing the one obvious line. I always like multifaceted characters.
Yeah.
I don't like the classic, I'm evil because evil is good and good is bad. I hate that. That occasionally works in certain kinds of films. Like I always say, like Lord of the Rings is the classic example where the mindlessly evil villain works. The Sauron, why is he evil? Because he's evil. Why does he want to destroy good? Because he wants to destroy good because that's what he does is evil. It's really simplistic and one-dimensional, but that universe, it works.
Yeah.
So, tell me what you think about Martin Freeman.
Well, I think this works perfectly for Civil War because we're going to have Iron Man on one side, Captain America on the other, and we're not going to know who to root for, I think. Because it's going to be a Captain America film, but we're not sure if it's going to be him that is doing the right thing. So I think that works.
He's doing the right thing, Jacob. I don't know what you're talking about. Captain America can do no wrong. He's America's hero.
Freedom. But
Yes.
Yeah. But anyways,
I'm already on Captain America's team because I don't like Iron Man. I like Captain America more.
I think
Awesome. I love him. He's my favorite Avenger.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. But
Pretty cool.
But I think this character is going to work really good because he's, like a lot of people have been speculating, he's going to work with the American government. He's probably going to be one of the guys pushing for the bill that's going to have superheroes register with the government. So that's interesting. But we're not going to know whether what he's doing is right. Just like we're not going to know whether Iron Man's right or Captain America's right. We're not going to know who to root for. So, but he's going to be like that guy in the middle, I think he's going to be working with both sides, trying to get his overall goal achieved.
Right.
So I think he's going to be a villain, like not like the main villain, but I think he's going to be a bad guy overall. But a lot of people have been speculating that he's going to actually like be a prominent character from the comics. One of the really weird out there ones that I saw was Harry Osborn. I don't think that's going to be true at all. That's like way out there. But that'd be interesting because we know that Spider-Man's going to be in it. We don't officially know that, but everyone's been saying that. But
he's going to be in it, folks.
Yeah, he's going to be in it. But I really like Martin Freeman. He's a good actor. I've seen him in Sherlock, the Hobbit movies, all that stuff. So I'm excited to see him in and what his role is going to be.
So Civil War, are you getting more and more excited the more information we get?
Yes, so many characters and all that stuff, but I think it's going to blend really well together. The Russo brothers have shown us that they know how to direct these superhero movies, so I think it's going to be.
And then already with Captain America: The Winter Soldier, I mean, they kind of made that a mini Avengers when they had Falcon, Black Widow in there, so they already had a fair number of characters, and they pulled that off. It's amazing. So I am still concerned that Captain America is not going to get his time due to him in a Captain America movie. He's my favorite Avenger. The Vision is in the background. I really, really like the Vision, but I can't put him over Captain America yet because we haven't seen enough of him.
Yeah.
But Captain America right now is my favorite Avenger. I want this Captain America movie to be a Captain America film. I don't want. They paid Downey $40 million, I think, to be in this movie. That makes me a little worried that it's going to be dominated by him and other characters. But we'll see what happens. So far, what I know about this, I'm excited about it. When does this come out? Does this come out next year?
This comes out, it's in May. I'm not sure the exact date, but it's May 2016.
Okay, May 2016, and we'll be giving you a review of that for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, now we've reached the part of the show we like to call Geek Talk. This is where we pick anything from the geek side of movies and TVs and share with you our thoughts about it. Today, we're going to do a review on Geek Talk. This is going to be a spoiler-free review. Well, when I say spoiler-free, maybe there'd be light spoilers, but we're talking about Ant-Man. You guys saw, we gave a tease to you. It's on the YouTube channel. That literally was, we got into the car, and I turned on the camera, and we started talking. Now we just have time to think about stuff, and our thoughts have settled. Jacob, what did you think?
I love this movie. It was such a pleasant surprise because I didn't really know what to expect at all, but it was so great. Had so much great blend of humor, action, like heart, all that great stuff. But I'm gonna be completely honest, I wasn't too thrilled with the movie at the very beginning. Like when we get introduced to Scott Lang, he gets out of prison. He goes to his house, goes to his job at
Baskin Robbins.
Yeah, Baskin Robbins. I didn't really like that Baskin Robbins scene, but they kind of redeemed it for me when Louise came out and made that joke about it. But speaking of Louise,
Michael Pena's character.
Michael Pena, he was so good in this movie.
He was great.
He was kind of stole a lot of the scenes that he was in.
Yes.
And there's a whole crew of guys that he works with, three guys that help him out with all of his like heists and stuff like that, and they're perfect. They're not just the comedy relief characters, because they bring a little bit more to.
No, they're actually, see, this is, you say like at the beginning you were a little concerned. I had the same thoughts. When the movie started, for the first 10, 15 minutes, I'm like, uh-oh, here's a bunch of jackasses that don't make any sense. They're not competent. They can't do anything. Oh, here's a bunch of silly jokes, and some of the jokes I felt were kind of flat at the beginning.
Yeah.
But no, these people do play a role. They have skills, and they implement those skills.
Yeah.
And they crack one-liners at the same time.
Yeah.
And the jokes get better as the movie goes along, which is interesting.
Yeah.
I found that strange because usually, a movie you watch it, and it's good right away, and it kind of stays that way. Like for example, The Avengers 2. The jokes are good right from the start, and they stayed that way all along. I'm wondering if this it got better as it went along, had to do with the rewriting. Because I heard that there were some last-minute rewrites with the script, some director changes, maybe.
Paul Rudd, who starred in the movie, actually co-wrote this movie with Adam McKay. He did some rewrites with Adam McKay, who's a big comedy guy, and he did Anchorman, all that kind of stuff.
Okay, so maybe the beginning of the movie was probably already scripted.
Yeah.
And then they're changing more at the end. I mean, that was why the comedy just got better and better.
Yeah.
Now, what did you think about the main villain? Because online, this is probably the part of the movie that is getting the most flack. They say, oh look, Yellow Jacket, he's just another generic Marvel villain. What do you think, Jacob?
I agree with those sentiments, because he wasn't that great of a villain. He was basically just there to be the villain of the movie, which is fine, but I want a little bit more character.
Right, because they try to explain. They give a few throwaway lines. Oh, the Pym particles are messing with his brain, and that was about it to explain why he was such a total jerk and just a monster who killed people whenever he wants and wants to. It was strange, but I kind of expected it. This movie wasn't about the villain, and the villain played his role in having the cool action scenes. That fight you see in the trailer with the Thomas the Tank Engine in the little girl's room, that's an amazing thing.
Yes.
Lots of cool stuff happens in that. All the stuff in different perspectives. What did you think about all the stuff from the different perspectives? Like, because you see, usually it's a grandiose scale, but now it's just like, oh, they're fighting in it's like a little girl's room, or he's in like a server farm with a bunch of computers, and everything's looks like a giant city. What did you think about that? Special effects.
Those were so well implemented into the movie and the action scenes. Those are some of the best parts of the movie. When we get to see Ant-Man as the size of an ant, doing his ant thing, and just going around, and that scene, we see it in the trailer when he jumps through the bullet hole in the glass and he climbs up the guy's arm, punches him in the face. that was so good.
Yeah, it was really well done. I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved that. I loved how they constantly implemented he would get big, normal size, he'd get small, normal size, small. Like he just kept going back and forth really rapidly.
Yeah.
And it made for some really unusual action scenes.
Yeah. They I think Peyton Reed really knew how to do the action scenes with this. With the size changing, those are really well done. But the standout thing for me was the comedy of the movie. It was like they put this form of storytelling into the movie where has to do with Michael Pena's character. You know what I'm talking about? When he's telling Paul Rudd about the people that he knows. It's so hilarious.
Right, right at the beginning of the movie, he's starting to tell the story. And they show the people of the story he's talking about, but it's his voice.
Yeah.
It's like lip syncing, and it is. You'll have to see it, folks. It is hilarious. That's when it first really started getting good.
Yeah.
We started telling that story. I'm like, this is really weird, but Michael Pena, you're right. He stole the show. I was a little hesitant at first. I'm like, oh, is this going to be a cheesy comedy relief character? No, it's a comedy relief character that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I was actually scared that he was going to be the only part of the movie I liked at first, because I liked everything that was coming out of his mouth. But then I really started to get connected to Hank Pym, Paul Rudd, Scott Lang's character.
Yeah, we got a little more background on Hank Pym than I thought we did. They go into there's some scenes that show a little of some history of him. We're not going to spoil them.
Yeah.
I thought it was really interesting, that stuff.
Yeah, I really like the Hank Pym character, both in the comics and in this movie, and they really explored the complex sides of his character. Because in the comics, he has like anger issues, all that kind of stuff, and they didn't really bring that out, but they give us hints of that kind of stuff in this movie. And I really liked what was her name? Hope's character.
Yep.
Yeah, I really liked her character. She was kind of she was a little bit more of a mentor for Scott Lang than Hank Pym was
Yep.
in a way, because she trained him how to use the helmet, how to talk to ants, and all that stuff. So, yeah, I really.
Oh, and speaking of the ants are characters
yeah,
too.
Yeah, Anthony. You have to watch the movie to know who Anthony is.
Anthony. Yeah, it was great. They actually made the ants like you started feeling for the ants. And there's some cool stuff they do with the ants that we're not going to give it away. Though we do want to tell you folks that you can check out our YouTube channel. That's Geeks at the Movies. Just go to the YouTube channel, and we're going to have a spoiler cast about Ant-Man. So don't watch that until you've seen the movie. But we're going to talk about everything. We're going to have the Joe-I on the spoiler cast, and we're just going to blab. And is there anything else you wanted to say? Oh, we didn't give the review, the score yet.
Oh yeah. So we do things differently here at Geeks at the Movies. We give 2 different types of scores. I'm gonna give it out of 10. My score is gonna be 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed this movie. It's the weirdest Marvel movie yet, surprisingly, but it's definitely in my top 5 of the standalone movies.
Okay, and I'm going to use my 5-star system. We're going to do a short at some point talking about why we do 2 different systems. I'm going to give this 4 stars out of 5. And I just want to emphasize, my system is more towards the general audience, because if you're a superhero fan, if you're a superhero movie fan, go see this movie. Yeah. That's it. Go see the movie. If you're a general audience goer, maybe not so particularly interested in the superhero genre, I would say it's a 4 out of 5 star movie. It's a good movie. It's well done. It's interesting, but I don't think it rises to the very peak of moviedom.
Yeah.
You know, but for the comic book fans, yeah, it's pretty up there. It's high up.
And for the general audience, it's definitely going to be weird.
It's going to be weird,
but they do it in such a way where it's actually watchable for people who don't know anything about any of these movies.
Right. Yeah. So 8 out of 10, 4 to 5 stars. Watch the movie, and that is the end of Geek Talk. We are now on to Old School. This is the segment where we pick a movie that's at least 10 years old and we share our thoughts on it. This week, we're talking about the 2002 release of Spider-Man. The film stars Tobey Maguire, William Dafoe, Kristen Dunst, James Franco, and is directed by Sam Raimi. Your thoughts, Jacob?
Yeah, so this was kind of my first exposure as a kid to the superhero genre. This was Spider-Man was my favorite character growing up. I always used to get his comics. I got the old comics at like tag sales, stuff like that. He was a superhero that I grew up with. So seeing this movie when it came out, I was like in like nerd heaven at like when I was a kid. Like I didn't even know like what like this whole like shared universe stuff was, anything like that. So this movie was my first exposure to superhero stuff. I loved it right away. But then watching it as I got older, I started seeing different dimensions to the characters, all that kind of stuff. And it's still like in my top 10 at least of the superhero movies, because we've seen so many come out in the past 5 to 10 years.
So many.
Yeah, so many stuff has come out. But this movie is still in my top 10. It still I have a lot of good memories about it. But I'm interested to know what your thoughts of the movie are. Like what were your first impressions when you first saw this movie?
Let me tell you first about Spider-Man, my experiences with Spider-Man. I did not like the Spider-Man character. When I was a kid, I watched the Batman animated series and I watched the 90s X-Men cartoon. And I was like, yeah, awesome. Then maybe it was mid-90s, the Spider-Man cartoon came out. I'm like, okay, I'll watch this, cool. Oh, this is lame and stupid. I don't like this.
See, I never watched that.
Right.
I never watched that show.
So that's what I watched. I didn't like it. So I saw this Spider-Man movie. I'm like, okay, well, we'll see what happens. And I loved it.
Yeah.
It was great. It was so cool. So they made Spider-Man interesting. I remember watching and talking about it with a friend because we were commenting on the special effects. Because even when it came out, I felt like, this looks like a little comic book movie. They could have made that look more realistic, how Spider-Man's flying through the air. And my friend was like, I like that because it feels more like a comic book brought to life.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, okay, that works for me. And they made Spider-Man not just some wisecracking idiot. They brought dimension to the character. I loved William Dafoe.
Yeah.
Right. First of all, that guy, just the way he looks, he just has this unusual look about him. He's really, really skinny. He's got like no fat on his body.
Yeah.
You know, really bony. His bone structure, Great villain.
Yeah, he was perfect for the Green Goblin just because of that. How his body is.
You're right.
He's like this weird lanky guy.
Yeah, exactly.
But some things that I think a lot of people had a problem with was the Green Goblin costume. How he had the mask on. I actually really like the mask. I don't have a problem with it.
Can you rewind there? He doesn't have a mask usually?
No, in some of the comics, he actually has like a skin mask that he puts on. Like it's like kind of like rubber.
Okay.
But in some of the iterations, he's like mutated. He has that's his actual appearance.
Okay.
But he's wearing like this weird metal mask in this movie,
right?
And like it was okay. It didn't really bother me at all.
Because he doesn't have powers.
Yeah.
He has a special equipment that he uses,
Yeah.
like kind of like Iron Man. He's flying around.
Yeah.
That's how they made him.
Yeah, and then some of the action scenes of the movie were like they still hold up today.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
Because that scene where he's in the burning house and then that burning building and then.
Oh, I love that scene.
Yeah.
And they do the slow motion.
Yeah,
It's like he's acrobatic. Yeah. I think that's great.
And then spoiler for you haven't seen the end of the movie, but I want to talk about the end of the movie because
spoiler.
It was so.
This is old school,
yeah.
folks. It's 10 years old.
Yeah.
Watch the movies.
If you haven't seen it by now, then it's gonna get spoiled for you.
Yeah.
But there's that scene where at the end where they're fighting, and then he calls his like thing to come at Spider-Man. Does the backflip? It goes right through him. Like as a kid watching that, like it was a little violent but I was like, holy crap! Like this is what I want to see in a superhero movie.
Yes.
Like and then there's James Franco's character, who I didn't know who James Franco was at the time, but now he's like this like goofy comedy guy. So it's weird watching him in this movie now, but then you get to see like his weird comedy stuff in Spider-Man 3 a little bit because that was such a bad movie. But we're not talking about Spider-Man 3.
No, let's forget about that.
Yeah, and Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man, I liked him. He was kind of the 1960s Spider-Man. Like that's what we got. That's what Sam Raimi wanted. So I was okay with him as Spider-Man, but he wasn't perfect. He wasn't the wisecracking Spider-Man that I wanted. But
he's also a little older, I think.
Yeah.
They should hire someone a little younger.
Yeah,
I felt.
Every Spider-Man so far has been way too old, but now they got the new guy. He's actually young, but he looked a little bit like a high schooler, a little goofy when he was in high school. And then there's that scene with in the cafeteria where he has he actually accidentally webs the bully's lunch and it goes all over him. But I was a fan of this movie as soon as he went out onto that rooftop and was trying to shoot the web. The
heavy metal thing. Yeah, it's great.
That was great. Yeah. And
okay, wait. Let me pause you right there because there's a little bit of debate about which direction to go in this. For the new Spider-Man movie, do you want them to do like they did in this Spider movie and have the organic web shooters? In other words, it just shoots right out of his skin. It's a power. Or like the reboots, the first set of reboots, the Amazing Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
He actually designs a shooter, like a little device.
Yeah.
Which direction do you want him to go, and what did you think about the choice they made for this movie?
Well, see that's a little, it's a little bit of a debate, like for me, because I'm not really sure. Because in the comics, he has the device, like that's how it always was. But in the Sam Raimi movie, it was really interesting because he never ran out of the web stuff.
Right.
Because it was just inside.
It was organic.
So that'd be really interesting, but it's also another challenge for him if you do it with the web shooter, because then he can run out, and then it could be like an actual like conflict for him, like whether to actually like use these things or not. So I am gonna say I would like it if it was actually the web shooters, just because it adds a little bit more dimension to how he creates this costume by himself. He creates all the equipment and for everything, and he's like crawling on the wall and having super strength is enough for powers for me. For Spider-Man, that's all I really want. I don't need him as this super god power guy.
I want the organic web shooters. I hate the tech web shooters. I always get confused in comic book movies. It's like Iron Man. Why doesn't everyone have an Iron Man costume? I mean, they explained it, but whenever they have technology, it's like, why doesn't someone else just copy that technology? So as soon as it's like, oh, Peter, look, I'm a genius. I just came up with this amazing technology. Why didn't someone just copy that?
Yeah.
Right. It's hard to separate. I know this is the comic book world, but they make the world so similar to the real world, it just doesn't make sense. So if they're organic, it's like, okay, well, there's the power.
Yeah.
Now it's easy to understand now why someone can't just take it. I mean, like the Iron Man thing, they did kind of give an explanation in Iron Man 3, but before I was like, why aren't more people just taking this technology? Why isn't Tony outfitting more people with this that he knows are good?
Yeah.
So if Spider-Man has that technology, why can't he give it to other people? So I'd rather not have that extra dimension there. I see what you're saying about, oh, but then it could run out and we could have these interesting things happen. It's like, oh, I'm about to run out of rep shooter. Should I do this or should I do that? That does create interest in me. I think you could do that the same thing though with the organic web shooters, because you could just say like in real life, spiders can't just infinitely spin web. So maybe he has to. Oh, I'm tired. I can't. I can't make any more or whatever. I think they could go with that route.
Yeah. But yeah, overall, Spider-Man, directed by Sam Raimi, is an amazing movie. It's also kind of weird because Sam Raimi has a horror background. He directed the Evil Dead movies, all that kind of stuff, and then he went with the new Spider-Man movie, and in Spider-Man 2, you actually get to see a little bit of his horror background when trying to get the arms off of Doc Ock, trying to get
Doc Ock,
and then he you see like.
Do you think do you think the second Spider-Man movie, the second Sam Raimi film, is better than the first?
In some sense, yes. I think that the action overall was greater and the story was a little bit better. But this movie was a great introduction to Spider-Man. It was the origin story that we never got to see played out before, and they've done it so many times now in recent years. But
so we don't want to see that again. Another full origin story. Nah.
Yeah, we don't want to see that again. But Spider-Man in this movie, the whole Uncle Ben thing, going after the guy that killed him, that was really a thing that we had never seen before with the revenge aspect of a superhero. So we got to see that. Got to see that whole thing. But this movie is amazing, has amazing cast, everything like that. I can't really recommend it enough. Okay, then.
Please go. If you haven't watched it already, please watch Spider-Man. Now, I'm sad to say that, Jacob, we're nearing the end of the show. Yes, many feels are had, many tears are cried. Is there something that you wanted to tell the folks before we head out?
Just like, subscribe, and share our videos. We're trying to grow this Geeks at the Movies empire.
The Geekverse is growing.
Yes.
And remember, and always remember, while we focus on TV and movies from the geek perspective on the show, the Geekverse in general is actually larger. So on the YouTube channels, we sometimes branch out. We'll talk about video games. We talk about comic books. We talk about other things. I got plans for us to talk about other geek stuff. We can talk whatever kind of performing art stuff we want from a geek perspective. Maybe we'll do a heavy metal album review at some point. We're not actually wearing any metal shirts today, but you see them wearing us all the time. So like Jacob said, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Remember, we're on Facebook. Oh, I didn't mention this before. We got an email address now. Yeah. Email us, geeksatthemovies.ct@gmail.com. We want to hear from you. Give us your thoughts. Anything else you wanted to tell the folks before we head out?
Just that I hope you enjoyed this video, because we really enjoy making them. So like, comment, subscribe, share, all that stuff. We
can't say that enough.
Yeah.
We just keep repeating ourselves. Yeah. All right then, folks. My name is Shane Gurich. This is
Jacob Desitels.
And we've been Geeks at the Movies. Okay, the Joe-I, tell me what you just told me. What did you guys do yesterday, the Jacob and the Joe-I?
We went golfing. Was it yesterday? Yeah, we went golfing.
So the Geeks team, absent me, went golfing. Who won? Who won this deadly golf tournament?
Our friend Andrew.
Oh, he crushed you?
Yeah, he's been playing golf for a while. He got a 37. Par for the course was 35.
I don't know, so that, you have to get below it, right? Like, or as low as possible is good, right?
Par is like, essentially, like a hole is par 5, you want to get a 5 or lower.
Okay, right, so the lowest score wins in golf.
Yeah.
Okay. And what was your score?
My score was 79.
And the Jacob?
I don't know.
Did you get 88?
I don't know. You didn't tell me.
I don't know, but a couple holes he wasn't even keeping track of how many times he hit the ball.
Anyone get birdie?
Our friend Andrew did. On the hole where there was a lake in the middle and you got hit over the lake. Me and Jacob didn't even want to try.